Okay, so Nico's going to solve number 1. Nico, how did you set up number 1?
7 squared.
7 squared. Box.
620.
Okay, what is 7 squared?
29.
6 squared is?
36.
Plus 5 squared, which is?
25.
Okay, so 49. Box is 61. So how does c squared relate to a squared plus b squared? It's less than. What does it mean to be less than? It means it's a cute. Cute. Okay, so our second one. Would anybody like to volunteer to do that one? Yes, ma'am.
14 squared equals 10 squared plus 8 squared.
10 squared plus 8 squared. What is 14 squared?
196.
196. Then we have 10 squared, which is plus 8 squared.
64.
Okay, so we have 196. We have a box, and we have 164. How do those relate?
196 is greater than 164.
It's greater than. What does it mean when c squared is greater than? Obtuse. And then number 3, we have, somebody want to volunteer to do that one? Yep, Randall.
25 squared box, 20 squared plus 15 squared.
Okay, 25 squared.
625.
625. 20 squared?
400 plus 225.
225. We're going to add those terms together, so we get 625 and 400 plus 225 is
625.
625. We see that they are.
Equal.
Therefore, it's right. Okay, our next group is with medians and centroids. So we see we want to find ZC and CW, given the fact that ZW is 21. So our first step is to write out that sentence. So we write out that sentence. We have ZW equals.
We gotta draw the lines.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to write this part out, and then you guys can, I'll give you a second. Okay, so now that we have the sentence written out, we see that ZW equals ZC plus CW. We know the values of some of these. So the part from the centroid to the vertex right here, what do we assign? It's going to be at 2x. Yes, ma'am. And then the part from the centroid to the part where it's bisecting the opposite side is going to be? X. So now that we have this, we're going to substitute it in. We know the value of ZW is
21.
equals 2x plus x. Combine like terms, 21 equals, divide by 3, x equals 7. Okay, now that we have that, we have to solve for the two smaller segments. So we want to find ZC, which equals 2x, which equals 2 times 7, which is, and then we have CW, which is just x, which is just 7, and we have our two values that we were looking for. Our next one is very similar, but now we have the measurement of one of the smaller segments. So we're going to begin with writing that same portion out, and we see that XW equals XC plus CW. We're going to fill in what we know. So what is the value of XC?
XC equals 2x.
It's going to be 2x. And then the part from CW is
X.
just going to be x. But we actually know the value of CW. What is the value of CW?
8.
It's 8. So we see that x has to equal 8. So we have XW equals 2x plus x. We know the value of x, so we have XW equals 2 times 8 plus 8. XW equals 16 plus 8. 24. And then we're interested in the value of XC, which is 2x. So 2 times 8, which is 16. Do we have any questions on this portion? Okay, So the first one is, if one side of a triangle is longer than another side, then the angle opposite of the longer side is larger than the angle opposite of the shorter side. So here you see this with the side BC is our longer side and side BA is our shorter side. Therefore, angle A has to be greater than angle C. Then you see the converse of this below. If one angle of a triangle is larger than another angle, then the side opposite of the larger angle is longer than the side opposite of the smaller angle. So you see you have a larger angle of 60 degrees. So FE has to be greater than the side opposite of the angle 40 degrees, which is DF. Okay, so for this one, name the smallest angle and the largest angle. So we're using the sides to determine our smallest angle and our largest angle. Here I'm going to use SA and LA. So largest angle and smallest angle. So we're going to look for our smallest side, which is, our smallest side is DE. We know that because it's only 9 and 9 is the smallest. The angle directly across from that is? So this is an angle, so we only have to abbreviate it just by F. Okay? Our largest angle is going to be across from our biggest side. Our biggest side we see is DF. The angle directly across from it is? E. Yes, sir.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. Smallest angle, largest angle. So the smallest angle, again, is going to be across from the smallest side. Which one's my smallest side? The? Yep, JL. The one directly across from it is? Okay. Ooh. You can go okay. And then we have our largest angle, which is going to be the one across from?
J.
So the one across from JK, which is? L.
Correct.
And then we have one more problem like this. Again, we're trying to find our smallest angle. So the smallest angle is going to be? Say it again, Nikwa. Z. Because it's across from our smallest side, that's 19. And our largest angle is going to be? Y, because it is across from our largest side. Okay, so our first one is now we want to name the longest side and the shortest side of the triangle based on the angles. So our longest side, I'm going to put as LS, longest side, shortest side, SS. So our longest side is going to be opposite of our biggest angle. Our biggest angle is?
105.
Yep. So that means our longest side has to be? DF. Remember, this is a segment. So we're going to put a line over it. Our shortest side is going to be the opposite of our smallest angle, which is that 35. So it's going to be?
DE.
DE. Nice job. For number 5, we have to find our missing angle length. Measure of angle K. How do I find that? That's right. 60 plus 62 is 122. We have 180 minus 122. Gives me what value? 58. Okay, I'm going to put 58 in here. So now that I have this, which side is my longest side? So we see that our biggest angle is across from the 62 degrees, which is KL. KL. And our shortest side is across from our smallest angle, which is at 58 degrees, which is JL. And then our last one, again, we have to find that missing angle. So I'm going to add my two angles together and subtract from 180, just like we just did. So 80 plus 38, which is 118. So then we have 180 minus 118. 62. So which one is our longest side? So longest side is the one directly across from that 80 degree angle, which is YZ. And then the one that is the smallest side or shortest side is across from our smallest angle, which is
YX.
yx. Okay, so our first group is we're going to name the angles from largest to smallest. So we're going to name these different than we did the last time. We're actually going to put greater than signs in. So our largest angle is the one across from the biggest side. Which angle is our largest angle? The measure of angle N is greater than the measure of angle. What's our next largest? It's going to be L, which is greater than the measure of angle M. Okay, our next one is set up just like that. So our biggest one is across from our largest side, which is 21. So the measure of angle Okay, so our largest angle is which angle? It's Q, because it's across from our biggest side, 21, which is greater than measure of angle. What's our next biggest? R, which is greater than our smallest angle? P. Okay, our last one of this type, we have the measure of angle. Which one's our largest? U, which is greater than the measure of angle. S, which is greater than the measure of angle T. Okay, again, we went from largest to smallest. We're going to do the same thing with the sides now. Which one is our shortest side and which one's our longest side? So we're going longest to shortest. So which one is our biggest angle? So angle J is the biggest. So HG. Okay, so HG, it's a distance. So we don't need a line above it. Is greater than, what's my next longest side? JG, which is greater than my smallest side, which is HJ. Okay. For number 5, what is my longest side? DE, which is greater than FE, yep. Which is greater than DF. Or FD. You could say it either way. Okay, and last but not least, our longest side is A. So our biggest angle is 103. So the one across from is AC, which is going to be greater than my next biggest angle is at 39. The one directly across from it is
AB,
which is greater than my smallest angle is 30. Okay. So the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. Okay, so these are the examples on your sheet. And then now let's work through these. So our first one, we have 14, 17, and 31. So if you took 31 plus 14, without even doing any of the math, you see it's going to be bigger than 17. If you take 31 plus 17, you know it's going to be bigger than 14. So the one we're interested in is if 14 plus 17. So 14 plus 17 is what relationship to 31? So 14 plus 17 is what value? 14 plus 17.
31.
It's 31. So 31 equals 31. Does this form a triangle?
No.
No, does not form a triangle. Okay, for number 8, we have the same scenario. We see that 15 plus 4 is going to be greater than 7. So I don't need to test that. And we see that 15 plus 7 is going to be greater than 4. But I'm interested in if 4 plus 7 is going to be greater than 15. So we see that 4 plus 7.
No, it's not.
So we have 11, which is less than 15. Will that form a triangle? No, it doesn't form a triangle. The next one, again, we see that 23 plus 17 is going to be greater than 9. And 23 plus 9 is going to be greater than 17. So the one I'm interested in is if 9 plus 17 is related to 23. 9 plus 17 is 26.
Yes, it do.
And it's greater than, so we see it does form a triangle.
If we don't
Woo. Does.
A, B sharp,
Hold on, Niqua. Okay, so what did we talk about today?
Triangles.
We talked about triangles. Our first group was all about the relationship between sides. Our second one is all about angles. And then this one talks about the length of any two sides has to add up to be greater than the other side for it to be a triangle.
So what's up with that?